August 8, 1990, the day the United States Air Force made Saddam Hussein hesitate. Less than a week earlier, Iraq had invaded Kuwait. Saudi Arabia could have been next. Instead, in cooperation with Saudi officials, the United States projected its military power quickly and decisively, blocking any possible advancement by Iraq into another free and sovereign nation.
Within 72 hours of arrival here, F-15 Eagles from the 1st Tactical Fighter Wing ruled the skies. The balance of air power in the region tilted dramatically into freedom's favor.
Good morning, I'm Colonel John McBroom, commander of the 1st TAC Fighter Wing, Langley Air Force Base, Hampton, Virginia. I'm part of the Air Force contingent, a portion of approximately 200,000 men and women serving here on the Saudi Arabian Peninsula. We're here to preserve the peace. That's our primary reason, to deter any further aggression by Iraq. We don't want war, but if called upon, we're prepared to fly, to fight, and to win. This is about freedom. This is about someone who wanted to take freedom away from other people, who wanted to take almost half of the world's oil supply. This is about a man named Saddam Hussein, who in early August invaded the country of Kuwait. He did so, we think, with the objective of coming into and occupying Saudi Arabia. Very quickly, the Air Force accepted the challenge to respond to Iraq's incursion into Kuwait. We in Tactical Air Command, along with the other Air Force commands, arrived here very early in August. Within 72 hours, we were ready to go to defend the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in the air. It has been a very impressive and awesome display of air power. Since then, we have continued to build our forces. The Army, the Navy, the Marines, everybody coming in. No other nation in the world could do what we have done here. This is something which says an awful lot for the training and capability of our American Armed Forces, and for the Air Forces in particular, Tactical Air Command. I am so proud of the people in Tactical Air Command. Our training, our equipment, our people have performed admirably over here. It's just been an awesome display of air power. There's no other way to say it. This tape is primarily for the young children. This is for you to understand what your armed forces are doing over here. It's a long way away, 7,000 miles. But this will give you a picture of what we're doing in Saudi Arabia. So many of you have been so generous in your letter writing and your support, in sending us letters, cards, cookies, candy, everything. It's been just a great, overwhelming display of support for us, and we all do appreciate that. And this tape is to show you what we're doing and hope that we, in turn, can give you some understanding of what our lives and operations are like here in Saudi Arabia. It's to make you feel a part of what you are, because we're your Air Force. We're part of you. I hope you enjoy the tape. I hope you learn from it. I hope all the students in the schools who get to see this will have an appreciation for what's happening here to the men and women, not only of the 1st TAC Fighter Wing, not only of Tactical Air Command, but of the Air Force units and all the other services here serving on the Saudi Arabian Peninsula. We appreciate everything you're doing for us. It really helps us do our job. We're ready to, on a moment's notice, to take control of these skies, and we can do it. And if called upon, we're going to fly, fight, and win. So go ahead and enjoy the video, and thank you very much for all your support.
Anytime our armed forces are called to a crisis overseas, Military Airlift Command springs into action. These are the people who carry by air people, supplies, and equipment needed most quickly to combat an adversary. MAC, as we call the Military Airlift Command, flies the giant C-5 Galaxy, the C-141 Starlifter, and the C-130 Hercules. During the early days of the airlift effort, MAC planes landed here on the average of 1 every 10 minutes.
U.S. commercial aircraft contributed greatly to the effort by bringing in thousands of the soldiers and airmen serving in Saudi Arabia. Colonel Bill Taylor, Senior Military Airlift Command representative here, tells you why airlift is such a key player in an operation like Desert Shield.
Hi, I'm Colonel Bill Taylor. I'm the Senior MAC representative here at this location. MAC stands for Military Airlift Command, and our mission is to deliver the troops and cargo for the other military organizations in the theater. We've been here for approximately 60 days now, and we've brought in a total of 3,600 aircraft airlifting more than 127,000 troops and 89,000 tons of cargo just to this one place. This is the largest MAC operation in the theater. We've done this on a combination of C-5 aircraft, C-141 aircraft, KC-10 aircraft, C-130 military airplanes, and a whole host of civilian airplanes to include 747 and smaller commercial airplanes.
By the time Operation Desert Shield ends, Military Airlift Command will have completed the largest airlift of all time. For the moment, though, Air Force leaders here continue to be concerned about warfighting readiness and their ability to take care of the Air Force people living here. A commander knows if he takes care of his people, they will take care of the mission. An important concern of any commander must be quality of life.
Saudi base officials here had only a day or two notice that we were coming. Think how you would react if someone told you several thousand people were coming for dinner. Under the circumstances, our Saudi host provided a warm and gracious welcome. By late that first night, most of our people were living in a military dormitory provided by the host nation. As dormitory rooms filled up, we asked for additional living space and were given 3 schoolhouses in the local area. Since school was not in session, this proved to be a very good, although temporary, solution.
To accommodate everyone once school started, we built a tent city, fully air-conditioned and affectionately known as Bedrock.
Bedrock earned its name because of the unbroken solid rock which lies immediately below the desert sand. We built our city on this, and almost every tent peg had to be driven in using an electric drill to get through the surface of the ground.
There was much more to the construction of Bedrock than driving in a few tent pegs. Much of the credit for this operation goes to the First Wing Civil Engineers. They drafted a well-thought-out city plan and, with the help of future residents, constructed over 100 tents.
The power production specialists and electricians run Bedrock Power and Light. They have assembled a power plant that can generate 1.5 million watts of power and have strung over 5 miles of electric cable to pass the power to the tents.
The civil engineers maintain Bedrock's utilities and over 200 air conditioners on this base. They have also constructed 4 guard towers and a number of amenities to make life at Bedrock both safe and enjoyable. Even now, they are designing and building a modular city for our people. It will offer double rooms and a large swimming pool.
But regardless of where they live, everyone uses the services provided in Bedrock. The chaplain, legal, personnel, the Mars station for phoning home, the laundry service, and the dining hall.
The best part of any day begins with a hot breakfast and ends with a hot supper. Everyone really appreciates the fine support our food services people provide. Dino's is the largest of 5 eating facilities we can use here. This dining hall seats about 200 people at a time and serves up to 1,100 people each meal. The kitchen staff combines rehydrated foods, what we call B rations, with fresh foods purchased locally.
All of the basic food groups are included in our meals, and we can look forward to such typical American fare as hamburgers and barbecued spare ribs.
Breakfast is usually pancakes or French toast, scrambled eggs, bacon, or ham.
You just can't go wrong at Dino's. The Bedrock Post Office gives people what they usually look forward to the most: mail from loved ones and friends back home.
The postal workers and volunteers distribute about 500 packages and 4,000 letters a day. We also receive a lot of mail from people we don't know personally, but who want to show us their support. Needless to say, it keeps our postal people busy.
Watching television is an important morale booster for the Air Force members here. This makes Bedrock's television tent a popular spot anytime. Sports and other programs are provided live by the Armed Forces to members serving here.
We also have the Armed Forces Radio, which offers news and entertainment for those without a television. In fact, we provide for the morale, welfare, and recreation needs of our forces in many ways.
Military members exercise and enjoy a sports hall, its use graciously donated to us by our Saudi hosts. This $80 million pavilion is one of only 5 in the Royal Saudi Air Force.
By Saudi law and culture, women are not permitted in this building. However, the Saudis allow female service members to use this facility as a special gesture of friendship.
There are also special tours available to our folks. They are some of the more sought-after attractions among our people. These include a shopping tour in the local villages around the air base,
A visit to the world-famous camel market at Hafuf, where a good racing animal can sell for more than 150,000 American dollars.
That's about 600,000 Saudi dollars, known as riyals. There are also other bargains in jewelry, wood carving, and clothing.
And we even have special visits for our women members where they spend an afternoon with the wife of the Saudi wing commander. American women get the opportunity to learn firsthand about Saudi culture.
Even the Saudi bread store, near the schoolhouses we stayed in, offers shoppers a first-hand Saudi cultural experience.
While at Bedrock, we enjoy traditional American attractions such as outdoor movies, which are shown 6 nights a week on the mall.
These are all first-rate movies provided by the Army Air Force Exchange Service.
For those who may not want to watch the movie, we have game room tents with hundreds of board games and decks of playing cards.
This is also an ideal place to write letters home or to grab a cola, a bag of popcorn, and talk with friends.
Popcorn during any first wing deployment is always free, and we've popped more than 3,000 pounds so far.
To get our people to and from work, we need an effective transportation system. 9 bus routes and 4 special bus runs carry more than 1,000 people daily to and from work, activity, and the dining halls.
Our vehicle operators also haul essential supplies, aircraft parts, and equipment to and from Air Force organizations within a 100-mile radius of this base.
They couldn't do this, though, without a great effort from the vehicle maintenance people, who have supported a 200-vehicle fleet by keeping at least 93% of the vehicles in commission since our arrival.
Transportation also tracks the shipment of Air Force cargo on and off this base. To date, they have already handled 5 million pounds of freight.
Personal and operational security is imperative for completing our mission.
Fortunately, we have a large security police force deployed with us. Much of their mission centers around perimeter patrols to guard our aircraft and the people working on them.
However, terrorism is a threat to every American serving here. Our security police help protect us.
This takes on a special significance considering that between 30 and 40,000 cars enter this installation each day.
Our base security force, a blend of Saudi American and Royal Air Forces, is testimony to the alliance of nations here in opposition to Iraq's aggression against Kuwait.
Lieutenant Colonel Tom Pack, our head police officer, explains it this way.
Hi, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Tom Pack. I'm commander of the 1st Security Police Squadron in the Air Base Ground Defense Force. Our most considered threat is terrorism. What you see behind me is one of our gate searches, and we have a vehicle in the search bay right now being examined for possible explosive devices. It's an extensive job. It's a grueling 12-hour shift job, 6 days a week with only one 12-hour period off. But the men are holding up and the women are holding up extremely well.
The sound of an ambulance anywhere can cause a person's heart to beat a little faster. Here in Saudi Arabia, where hostilities could break out at any time, medical care is definitely a matter of life and death.
That's why our air transportable hospital is so important to every Air Force member here. Major Dr. Rich Williams explained.
I'm Major Richard Williams, commander of the 1st Air Transportable Hospital. Our home station is Langley Air Force Base, Virginia. We're deployed in support of the 1st TAC Fighter Wing in support of Operation Desert Shield. We're a 50-bed air transportable hospital. We arrived on 2 C-5 Galaxy aircraft and set this facility up within about 4 to 5 days and became fully operational. Our hospital consists of 2 wards of 25 beds each. We have full operating room capability. We have an emergency room, laboratory, X-ray services as well. We also have a pharmacy and an administrative center. Our pharmacy is fully equipped with a wide variety of oral and intravenous medicines that can be used to treat almost any condition one could encounter in the field. Our dental clinic is fully equipped with chair, X-ray capability, and a wide variety of drills and instruments, both for dental hygiene and for taking care of most dental emergencies one might encounter. Our emergency room consists of 6 ATLS stations, that stands for Advanced Trauma Life Support Stations, where we can perform emergency resuscitation on patients who are critically injured. Our operating suite consists of a pre-op area where patients are prepared for surgery, and then an ISO shelter, ISO standing for International Standard Organization. The ISO shelter consists of 2 operating tables and 2 anesthesia machines. We can carry out 2 major surgeries simultaneously. Our operating room has been tested here with close to 50 major cases, and I'm pleased to report it works very well as any operating room stateside. Our X-ray suite consists of a table, a portable X-ray machine, and full processing capability. We're capable of doing almost any routine radiograph and some limited studies involving the administration of contrast material. Our laboratory consists of the ability to do basic blood tests, both blood chemistry and blood counts, as well as urine analysis. It's also fully equipped to store blood. We have 2 wards. Our surgical ward is a 25-bed unit, fully staffed with nurses and technicians, that is capable of recovering patients from surgery and keeping them for an indefinite period of time as they recover. Our medical ward also consists of 25 beds and is fully staffed by nurses and technicians. And this ward is fully capable of treating almost any medical disease, such as pneumonia, asthma, or other types of infections that one might encounter in the field.
Tied in tightly to our medical needs is the Air Force's aeromedical evacuation system.
Anytime a doctor determines a patient needs additional care at another facility, an aeromedical evacuation team goes to work. In our case, a patient could be moved by helicopter from our air transportable hospital to one of the hospital ships in the Persian Gulf.
Or aboard one of MAX planes back to Germany, or even to the United States, depending on the care needed.
If it is a matter of life or limb or sight, special aircraft can be arranged.
More than 100 aeromedical evacuation team members work here together as part of this complex network with other teams in other areas to move patients where they can get the medical care needed.
When it's all said and done, we're here in Saudi Arabia to defend the kingdom. We're here to deter any further aggression on the part of Iraq.
We don't want war, but if called upon, we are prepared to fly, to fight, and to win.
Until hostilities break out, if they break out, we fly a single type of mission known as a Combat Air Patrol, or CAP mission.
4 of our aircraft launch and fly to northern Saudi Arabia to a predetermined location where they fly a patrol pattern for about 4 hours.
During that time, they look for any intruders flying into Saudi Arabian airspace.
Every CAP aircraft carries a full complement of armament. 4 AIM-9 and 4 AIM-7 missiles for shooting down the adversary's aircraft. Our F-15 Eagles also have a 20mm Gatling gun which can be used if they have to fight an adversary at close range. Our pilots also fly continuation training missions. These flights are only about an hour long. The pilots go up and practice their flying tactics against each other to maintain their combat abilities.
For safety reasons, we remove all of the armaments from the aircraft during these practice missions. Regardless of the type of mission, one Air Force unit constantly watches over what we do. This is a group of air defense radar controllers from Florida.
They are called the Combat Reporting Center, and they keep all air traffic throughout the eastern province of Saudi Arabia under radar surveillance. It is their job to identify everything flying through this airspace.
If necessary, they have other people, called weapons controllers, who can guide our F-15s to defend against a potential adversary who may be flying in our airspace.
Members of the Combat Reporting Center have sophisticated radio communication networks which allow them to work with the other command and control agencies in our area of responsibility, as well as with surface-to-air missile units.
One such unit is the U.S. Army's Patriot Battery, near here for our defense. It is important to point out that this operation involves many nations, not just the United States alone.
On this airbase, we have pilots and aircraft from Great Britain, in addition to ourselves and our Saudi host.
While it is certainly impressive watching jet fighters perform, no one is more important than those who maintain the aircraft and provide the fuel and parts to keep them flying.
Every aircraft has maintenance specialists dedicated to ensuring the F-15 aircraft is in top flying condition.
The dedicated crew chief is responsible for preparing his or her jet for each mission. Crew chiefs develop a personal relationship with their aircraft. At any time during a pre-flight check, it is the crew chief's decision whether or not the jet is airworthy.
The crew chief looks over all parts of the plane: the tires, hydraulics, fluids, and structural integrity.
Some, such as Staff Sergeant Manuel Perez, with our 27th Tactical Fighter Squadron, have worked on the same aircraft for years.
I'm Staff Sergeant Manuel Perez, Jr. I'm assigned at the 1st TAC Fighter Wing at Langley Air Force Base, Virginia. I've been a crew chief for 10 years. I was assigned to Langley. As soon as I was assigned there, I was given this particular aircraft, 2046. I work on it on a day-to-day basis. If it's flying, I'm on it. It's a personal thing. You know, we have our name painted on the side. It's basically my airplane. I'm trusted by the government so that I can take care of it, make sure it's ready for a mission. And they depend on me to make sure that it can fly.
When Sergeant Perez's aircraft completes a flight, he immediately prepares it for the next flight.
Crew chiefs can't do it alone, though. Every maintenance organization has a whole cadre of back shop specialists who do everything from changing engines to repairing cracks in the structure of the aircraft to maintaining the munitions the F-15 uses.
To give you an example, munitions maintenance specialists don't work on the F-15 directly. Instead, they look after all parts of the 2 missiles an F-15 aircraft uses, including the highly complex guidance and control systems on each missile.
They also prepare the 20mm ammunition for loading into the aircraft, and they also maintain the chaff and flare, which pilots may need to decoy an enemy who might be trying to shoot them down.
We also have people who watch over all of the spare parts needed to keep our jets flying.
Who keep them refueled.
In addition, we have the 52nd Combat Communications Squadron. These specialists from Robins Air Force Base, Georgia, provide the combat communications required to fight and win a war.
The 52nd Combat Communications Squadron transmits and receives secure and non-secure voice and data communications necessary for Air Force operations here.
The fact is, we can't begin to show you everyone who keeps the Air Force going at this base in Saudi Arabia.
We hope, however, that you have gotten the flavor of our operation here.
From Military Airlift Command's giant cargo planes,
to the 1st Wing's F-15 aircraft,
to all of the support people in between, the United States deployment of forces to Saudi Arabia has been a truly impressive show.
One in which we are convinced averted a war in Saudi Arabia.
And one in which every American
serving here and supporting at home can take great pride in.
How long will we be here? No one really knows for sure.
But no matter how long it takes, we'll stay ready.